English limerick about Limerick. In fact, in revenge, because my memory is long and my vengeance is total, and that's why they call me Johnny Clarke, El Vengador. El Vengador y los Vengadores. Because my memory is long and my vengeance is total, I wrote a limerick that doesn't even rhyme, and it ain't even about Limerick. Double revenge. Double, revenge. Double. So here it is, it's a limerick that doesn't rhyme. It's not even about Limerick. So I told you up front it's not going to rhyme. So I don't want any snotty letters after the event, you know, dear sir, imagine my disappointment. Upon attending a poetry reading by the late John Pt2, only to discover that his so-called limerick failed to rhyme. Suicidal. Haslam. Don't try to do me another trade descriptions act either. It won't do you any good. I've been in litigation with Time Warner Video for the last 27 years on account of that never-ending story. It's like I had an all-day breakfast down the road here on Wednesday, last Wednesday. And it only lasted me 32 minutes. Again, no success in the courts. No success in the courts. I blame my lawyer. You don't want a lawyer that starts every conversation with, well, I'm no legal expert, but... If there are any lawyers out there tonight, by the way, highly unlikely given the chosen demographic, but it's a long shot and it just might work. A friend of mine was recently sent to prison for something he didn't do. He didn't run when the police came to arrest him. So now, I need the answer to this legal question by the end of the night if possible. And my question is this, if you shot a peasant, could you get off on the grounds of dyslexia? Could you walk on the technicality? Anyway, here it is, the limerick that doesn't rhyme. There once was a fella from Lee, thought he'd been stung by a wasp. When asked if it hurt, he said, no, it can do it again if it wants. See how that didn't rhyme. Speaking of dyslexia, that's nature's final mockery. Fancy calling it something no fucker can spell. Now you've got all these cruel dyslexic jokes, haven't you? The dyslexic king opened up a warehouse. The dyslexic devil worshipper sold his soul to Santa. The dyslexic rock star choked to death on his own Pt2. The dyslexic on his winter holidays there, San Moritz. Comes down the old slalom on his skis there. Gets to the bottom. Says to his pal, see the way I zigzag down that hill? He says, no, you zigzagged. He says, well, let's ask this bloke here, he's impartial. Excuse me, pal, did I zigzag or zigzag down that hill? I'm sorry I wasn't paying any attention. I've got my own thing to do, I'm a tobogganist. Really? Just trying to get some edges with a box of nuts. Two dyslexics talking, one said to the other, he says, can you smell gas? I can't even smell my own name. Dyslexia. You had a misspelt youth. I know a couple of new numbers there. I don't know. I don't think we won't know till you hear it. There we go. Here we go. Can't see. What's that one I found in Zappers? Nanook of the North. It's one of my favourites. Anybody know that one? Let's have a sing song while I'm looking for this number. Remember it? Nanook of the North.
Yeah.
I can't see. That's snowblind one. Great, isn't it?
Yeah.
I can't see. The only line I remember from it now. You'd expect that if he's snowblind. Nanook. Speaking, what's so bad about? Are there any Inuits around in Europe? Really? Really? I don't mean, I'll call you an Inuit. But what's so bad about Eskimos? Why does everybody get upset when you call them Eskimos? Is it an Inuit word for arsehole? It's like you call them Eskimos now, and it's like, oh, don't call them that. Not what I call them that. Not what they call Inuit. If I was an Inuit, I'd prefer to be called an Eskimo. There's a lot of fucking baggage going for it. Eskimos. The Eskimo kiss, They're well liked. I don't think they're a victim of any kind of racism. Maybe nobody ever got. You know what I mean? If an Eskimo moved into your neighbourhood and opened up a cafe, he wouldn't fall victim to local racists. Same as the Chinese. I don't think the Chinese get it. They never have it that bad, have they? Nobody's ever had anything against them, really, the Chinese. Because they look like they could be hard as fucking nails. You just don't know. But anyway, they're cute and everybody likes them and they're very hard working. And they're all nice people and one of them plays for United. So they're English. They're English. There are people. I mean, they all are. All men are my brothers, don't get me wrong. I'm not embarking on any ethnic-based humour here. I just wondered what's so bad about the word Eskimo? What did they do? They've got 2 stuffed ones in Manchester's Mosley Museum, actually. I swear to God, I've seen that. They weren't very nice to them back in the day. Well, I don't think Parkers would have caught on it without them. Would they? Without the geographical reference point, they wouldn't have had a fucking chance, would they? With the fashion-conscious young. Where do they stand with their Eskimo pie and things like that? All the good shit about Eskimo. They're going to have to sacrifice all this cultural baggage just because one of them wants to be called Inuit. I think we should be told. Anyway, speaking of problems that don't really exist. This is the big bone of contention between me and my wife at the moment. She thinks I get upset about shit that can't ever happen. Whereas I don't worry about shit that is right on top. Like global warming. Because I went to America once and flew over the North Pole and all I could see was fucking ice. And I can't have it that it's, a problem. Fucking loads of it. I've had people that have been there since I went there and they say the same thing. There's fucking tons of it up there. So, just saying, circumstantial evidence seems to be in my favour. But I think something awful will happen that they didn't see coming in the first place, long before the planet fucking, whatever it's going to happen to it. I think something awful, really terrible is going to fucking happen before then. But on a personal level, you know, because I mean, if you're gonna die, you couldn't really get a monkey's who dies with you, could you? You know what I mean? I mean, you know, if you're dying, if you're gonna die, do you know what I'm saying? I mean, that's all good. What difference it make whether we all go at once or just us? So I'm worrying about the stuff that kind of... Anyway, there is a part of me, however, who is concerned about social progress or the lack of it, you know what I mean, in spite of myself. And this is the guy that sends off, I've invented this guy. And whenever I'm concerned about something, or think I ought to be concerned about something, I write a letter to the local papers under the name of Alan Ford, Ph.D. and make sure it gets printed. And the business writer, she said, she's kind of pointed out, if I can fake these values, it is but a short step to embracing them. So she's like, so me being the way I am is my fault, in other words. You know, if I can make this guy up, I ought to be this guy. So I've invented this guy now that I think my wife is fantasizing about. She's already said she prefers the guy. You know, just like that, she prefers the, why can't you be that guy? If you can make him up. You could be that guy, it wasn't the art. Just be reasonable with people. You can stop reading the Daily Mail. So I've invented this stuff. I make rods for my own bank. I've invented this guy that my wife's cheating on. She's cheating on me with this guy who lives inside of me, whose name's Alan Ford, Ph.D. So this is probably the most serious poem I've ever written in my fucking life. And it's called Egghead. Egghead. With his store-bought haircut and his excellent posture, what's a guy like that gonna cost you? The horn-rim hunk in the salt and pepper tweed. He's very clever indeed. Alan Ford, Ph.D. Took my baby away from me. Egghead. Jimmy College. Professor Loverat, not so solid. Egghead. Jimmy College. You could say he don't acknowledge. Who wears a wise guy hat? You can't buy class like that. Seems like the cerebral type, puffing on that pensive pipe. Alan Ford, Ph.D. Took my baby away from me. Now look here, and furthermore, are all he ever says. When at home with a weighty tone, I imagine he wears the fez. Running with the 18 through the halls of academe, I ought to let them be. This time the laught's on me. Alan Ford, Ph.D. Took my baby away from me. Egghead. Poindexter. Sturdy briar for extra texture. Egghead. Hector Schmector. Friend only to the schmuck detector. Friend only to the schmuck detector. Silver temples and the ghost of a beard. All slightly engineered. He turns women weird. My pitch is queer and even I can see. And I don't even have a GCSE. But Alan Ford, Ph.D. took my baby away from me.